The island has been conquered. A rampaging wild Indominus Rex is king and it knows no boundaries. So I have one simple mission, to build up an army within 100 days and defeat the Indominus Rex. So I began and I spawned in, ready to begin the mission. I punched a tree for some wood and thatch and collected a stone to make a pick. I used that to get flint for a hatchet, which allowed me to get more wood, and then I got fibre to make a spear, so I could defend myself, or alternatively snipe dodos to get raw meat and hide. I got a few more materials to make a campfire to cook the raw meat. With the food cooked, I set off inland, but I didn't get too far until I saw my first major threat. Oh, hello Spino. I am going to stay far away from you. I kept my distance from the Spino as I crossed the river, but I just want you to remember this Spino. He'll be back in the story eventually. Day 1 was already seemingly coming to a close, and I had nowhere to stay, so I began gathering materials to make myself a small shelter for the night. I opted for a small simple 2x2 made out of thatch. I finished off the ceiling, placed a campfire and sleeping bag as the night began and waited for the sun to rise on day 2. But now a quick message from today's sponsor. StarCraft X is the best PvPvE extraction shooter available. Set in a large exclusion zone map, there are countless missions for you to tackle with equal amounts of risk and reward, all whilst you battle out amongst other real stalker players. Whether you choose to hide or engage is your choice as you play out your own journey. With different guns and equipment available, you can play in the style you desire, from being silent and stealthy to all guns blazing. Test your abilities with the thrilling PvP and attempt raids where everything you leave with is yours, and if you die, you only lose the items you gained and you keep your original equipment. And make sure you're all warmed up for your raids by trying out the deathmatch and gun game modes to prepare you for your battles. And if you really want to test your skills, check out the Wild Zones, where loot is increased but the difficulty will put your skills to the test. Or maybe you can check out Clan Wars, a tournament styled battle where teamwork is the key to success. And whilst playing, make sure to check out one of the 4 factions, each possessing their own allies, enemies and quests, giving you the ultimate warfare experience. StarCraft X is one of the best PvPvE extraction shooters out there, and being free to play makes it a no-brainer. So go check it out using my code on screen or down below to get yourself a nice starter pack to help you begin your adventure. The sun had rose, so I started the day with some more farming to get a bow and arrow, which I used to take down a big parasaur for its hide. The next target was an Oviraptor, who wasn't a match for my arrows. I continued with some more farming, prioritising the river rocks for metal before finding a moss chops, who wanted some cooked prime meat. I didn't have that, so I killed it. Back at base, I cooked up some more of the raw meat I'd collected from the dinos that I had killed, and that was it for day 2 as night rolled in. I started day 3 early, eliminating this Ichthyornis who deserved death just for existing. I wanted to get some tames today, so I made a mortar and pestle for narcotics, but I didn't have too many narco berries. But lucky for me, there was a moss chops nearby who only wanted measure berries to tame, which was more than good enough for me. So I got my first tame done. And back at base, I crafted a couple narcotics, but I was always going to need more, so I farmed up bushes for narco berries with my new moss chops. See, now a moss chops isn't really going to help me defeat the Indominus Rex, but 2 baby level 140 trikes may do. So I think you know my plan now. In order to do that though, I needed to farm up some flint to make arrows. Up next I farmed stone so I could make a forge and began smelting the metal that I'd already collected. It got me 6 metal ingots, which I used to craft a smithy and then a metal pick, which would now allow me to get even more metal, more efficiently. And that was all I'd done to see out the rest of day 3. On day 4 I decided to finally go for the trike babies, so I first had to kill the parent.
Where you going, trike? Uh-oh. There's a second trike over that. Have I just aggroed? Oh, I have. Ow. 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 But this bro's gonna kill me. I need more arrows. Way more arrows. And it's running again. Finally, it's dead. It's dead. Now I just need to go find the babies. There's one. Hey, little guy.
I did remember seeing 2 babies, but I only ever found 1, so that was the one I claimed. I made myself a metal hatchet and also imprinted on my new baby trike, and then I continued to farm up more materials for the rest of the day whilst my trike continued to grow. One thing I did need was hide to make my trike a saddle for once it was grown, so I went out to find something to kill, only to find something worse.
Oh my god, it's an alpha raptor. No. I was just about to go kill that. It's running this way. I'm gonna kill the Fumia for hide. I need to kill something for hide. Oh, Spino over there having a drink.
I only ended up finding this dodo, then I killed a Carbonemus the next morning. This allowed me to craft the saddle, which was good timing as my trike had now fully grown up. I took it out for its first berry run.
I think I'm going to try and make a raft so that I can go sail on a new base spot. That I need more hide. Would make sense to kill the other raptor first as well. 75, 50 hide, damn. Alright, let's take Gorgon out. What level's this guy? I can take him. Let's craft the raft, let's go.
And I'd spent all of day 5 farming to craft a raft, so I placed it down near sunset. But before setting off, I crafted up some more narcotics and then began packing up all my items and set off sail in the morning of day 6. I made a quick stop nearer the base of the hill, where I knew at the top there was some crystal, which I was needing. I collected metal too and then set off back towards my raft, only to see one issue.
Wait, that's a little too close. Oh Christ, that is way too close. Go, 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 go. Drink, and we're out, we're out, we're out, we're out.
I continued sailing for the rest of the day, only arriving to the area I wanted to in the morning. Before setting up a base, I spent time farming up materials for it, and then set up a small little thatch setup with storage and a smithy. I made myself a crossbow which would help being in the more hostile area.
The hell's that? Wow. Why is it glowing? Huh. Oh my god, I just stole all my narcotics.
Needing to be more safe, I made myself some bowlers, which are going to be useful as it was time to improve my mobility, and for that I wanted a PT. There was a level 140 nearby, so I got it trapped and knocked out, and then came the issues.
No, PT! Rip. Well, it's not rip, but ruined.
However, every cloud has a silver lining.
Oh, it's a level 150. I might tame this. It's out. Let's go.
Sadly, I was too busy trying to get food for the raptor and I missed the loss of one of my tames.
It's there. It's there. Oh, shh. Oh, no. I'm killing the Kana, baby. I need my trike to save him. Where's my little guy? Hey, PT. Oh, 24% taming effectiveness is awful. Hey, let's go. We'll claim the baby. Hey, PT's tamed.
Despite taming the PT, I had no saddle and no way of crafting one either. So that night I went over to Kano Island with my trike to kill scorpions for the chitin. It ended up taking me an entire day to get the saddle crafted, but at least it was now made. I started day 11 by farming up the materials and berries to craft narcotics, but I knew I needed to get myself a proper base, and for that, better farming creatures. So first I wanted an Argy, so I set out to go find one. I found this level 140, so I built the Captain Fat Dog trap and got it in.
It's out, let's go.
I killed another Argy to get some prime meat and finished up taming the next morning. I now had to go and kill for chitin for the Argy saddle. The following morning we had an attack on base. The level 150 Baryonyx, who I had rather tamed, got a bit too close and I had to remove it. I started the next day by farming up fibre so I could start to craft foundations for my base, and then by the evening I headed over to the central cave as I was still desperate for more chitin for the Argy saddle. Inside the cave there were plenty of creatures, so I got to killing and harvesting. The following morning I returned home and crafted the saddle, with my first task being to go get myself an Anki. I scooped up this level 135 and brought it home and knocked it out. I filled it with some measure berries and then left it to tame. I then spoiled some raw meat and turned it all into narcotics before I went out and searched in the redwoods for a Doedicurus. However, my luck wasn't in. I spent the entire night looking for one and found none. Instead, my Yankee had now tamed, so I crafted it a saddle and took it out for my first proper metal run. From the trip, I had gotten around 2,600 pieces of metal, so I threw it all in the forge and began cooking it. I thought it would be wise to get a couple more forges placed, so as day 15 came close, I got to placing a few more down. The next day, I was back out looking for the Dodicarus, but it took me an entire day before I saw anything.
Oh, let's go. 100, we're taking this.
I brought the little fella home and knocked him out, and then spent the next few hours farming up wood as it tamed. I upgraded my armour to flak and then went around killing dinos for hide, which was used to craft the Dodicarus saddle, who had now tamed. So I went and farmed stone with it, which was used to craft more foundations. But I don't like small bases, so I was soon back out farming more stone to craft more foundations. That night we had another attack at base, a Ceratosaur. I quickly set all my creatures on it and we soon dispatched of it. The following day I went out to go look for a proper base spot, and there was only one place for it, the hidden lake. With water, flat land and a fairly secure location, it was ideal to help my dinos and for me to continue my mission to defeat the rampaging Indominus Rex. As day 20 started, I continued to bring over my dinos and items and finally brought over the last trike, who helped me clear out the area a bit. The rest of the day was spent busy building base, setting up storage, smithies and forges, and once that was done I took my Yankee out to do a crystal run up on the mountain. The following morning I continued farming bushes with my trike for narco berries to make more narcotics, and once the sun had come up I set out on my PT to go look for some stronger dinos to help protect my base. I spotted some Rexes quite close, but their levels weren't anything to shout about.
Oh, what on earth? Let's have a look in here. Welcome to Jurassic ARK. Right, I guess this is the theme park where all the dinosaurs were? Alright, this looks to me like the main tourist building. Right, we'll have a look inside. Tyrannosaurus Rex, Brontosaurus, Giga. I assume this is all the creatures that the park had. There is this empty spot though. Just found this building close to the park. I guess we'll go inside, see what's there. Right, a couple computers? I wonder if there's anything on them.
This is what we've been working on, some cage for this dinosaur, or whatever it is. What creature was it again? Indominus Rex, I think. Yeah, that. Been a busy few months building this. Just thankful it's all over. We should maybe have a peek inside, see what it is that we've built this cage for. It's in there, right? Yeah, it should be. Anyways, man, I'm off. Dude, I swear I'm seeing stuff moving in there.
Opening containment door.
Oh, no, 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 oh, no!
So that explains everything. The Indominus Rex escaped because some idiot let it out. Right, okay. And now it's destroying the island. Right, let's go defeat it.
So the whole reason I'm here doing this video was because some idiot decided to let loose the dino, which has caused the island to almost go extinct. Well, it's time to get back to trying to defeat it then. I arrived back home to find a beaver dam close by, so I looted it for the free cementing paste, even if it did upset the beaver. To continue progressing, I needed to head into the snow, so I did the following morning once the sun had risen and the land had warmed up. I was in search of oil, which wasn't too hard to get, and that was to allow me to make the fabricator. I placed it down and headed out with the Yankee once more to get obsidian, which I combined with the cementing paste in the fabricator for polymer. before I finished up the day farming flint on the Yankee for spark powder, which I turned into gunpowder. With the polymer that I'd crafted, I made a pump shotgun, and then some simple bullets before I turned them into shotgun ammo, but I needed more metal, so I had to go farm that first. At base, I crafted the shotgun ammo, and the production of more shotgun ammo went on into the next morning, as I was up to near 70 bullets. With the ammo crafted, I headed back out to continue searching for more stronger dinos to tame, like I had a couple of days ago. However, searching was a little bit difficult, as the sun had set and I had found nothing worth taming. But it was disappointment this time, as I returned home finding nothing worthy. The next morning I was back in the snow farming up silica pearls, which I used to craft electronics back at base. The following morning I was back out again, desperately searching for creatures to help me battle the Indominus. I was finding decent creatures like Spinosaurus and Rexes, but the levels just weren't anything great. But something just felt a little bit off. I wasn't sure what it was, but I'd soon find out when I returned home.
Eh? What the hell happened to my home? I've only got Dodicarus? What? All the tribes was killed by the Indominus Rex. Oh no. At least this guy survived. That's something.
So yeah, the Indominus Rex, which was causing the chaos on the island, had found me and my base. So now, instead of trying to tame strong creatures to help my battle, I had to rebuild, with my base entirely destroyed. I started off with the storage, crafted and placed the smithy, preserving bin, campfire, mortar and pestle, and then crafted and placed a fabricator. It was only after getting everything rebuilt I finally found my next tame, a level 90 Ceratosaur that had a kid. And having never tamed one of these before, I really wanted it. So I killed the parent and then claimed the little guy, brought him back home and let him grow up. I made him a saddle and took him on a walk to begin the imprinting process. And lucky for me, he only wanted cuddles for the last 3 imprints. As he finished growing, I went out to begin looking for dinos to rebuild my very depleted army. The first creature I found was an Alpha Raptor. I figured it would be a fairly easy kill, which it should have been, until this Spino became involved. Not knowing about its grab attack, I fought normally, but I was instead quickly ended. As I ran back, things only got worse as my RG had lost its battle to the Alpha Raptor.
No.
I'd got my things back fairly easily and decided to go finish the job on the Raptor as it fought a trike.
Oh, let's go.
But now being flyless, I ran by the redwoods to go look for a PT to help me get back in the air. I spotted this max level 150 and tried to get it, but so did a Carno, which caused it to fly off. I was truly being arced right now. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong. I volleyed the PT across the river and got it bowlered, finally knocking it out. As it tamed, I of course needed to get it a saddle, and with the swamp being nearby, I killed some bugs for the kiting and stole this galley body for hide which had just been killed by a Carno. The PT tamed as the sun set and I equipped the saddle and flew back home. The next morning I found myself a level 140 Triceratops, which was more than a good enough replacement for the one I had before. So I tried knocking it out, but realised dinosaurs aren't really too smart, because I don't know about you, but if I was getting sleepy I probably wouldn't run towards a river. Anyways, the trike knocked out underwater and was drowning, so that was a waste of my time. Instead, I found this level 140 Gigantoraptor, and having never tamed one of these either, I wanted it. It had a baby, so I killed the parent, only to find that's not how you can claim the baby. So instead, I returned home empty-handed. My Cerato was now fully grown, so I quickly tried him out as this was my first ever time riding one. Up next, I took my PT out towards the mountains to get myself another RG after the last had died to that Alpha Raptor. The levels on the mountain were awful, so I headed over to the next. I found a cool looking level 140, but it picked a fight with a Stego, and it was a fight that it wouldn't win, so I now had to search for another. I made my way into the redwoods after the sun went down on day 30 and found my new RG, a level 150. I quickly built the trap, got the RG in and knocked it out, and by the morning my new RG was tamed. I brought him back home and crafted the saddle, and then took it out to go find myself an Anki again. I checked the mountains and then the snow, but found nothing good. I was back in the snow the next morning though, as I had found a level 150 Anki, so I scooped it up and brought it home, where I proceeded to knock it out. As it tamed, I headed immediately back out where I spotted a max level trike, which was next on the taming list. Thankfully it didn't knock out in the water, so I got it tamed by the next morning. and by the time I'd brought the trike back home, the Anki had tamed too. I put the trike to work straight away by farming berries to feed the rest of my dinos. I continued my base expansion by getting a generator and a refrigerator before I took the Anki out for its first quest to farm up flint from rocks. All of this was immediately thrown into a mortar and pestle and turned into spark powder, and once that was done, it was mixed with charcoal to make gunpowder. In the early hours of day 34, I took the Anki up to the mountain for a nice quick metal run, returning home with just over 3,000 of it to be thrown into my forges. I spent the night continuing to produce the products needed for shotgun ammo, but now it was time for my next adventure, and for that I was going to need scuba gear, prime meat, some hide so that I could make an ichthyosaurus saddle as I wanted to head into the water. So I began taming the first one I saw. I only wanted a dolphin so that it would help me get to the ocean floor to tame an anglerfish. So I got to work knocking out this blue one, and after a fairly long battle, it was down. So I went and killed the fish for raw fish meat as I didn't really have a way to get prime, and then sat around waiting for it to tame. However, I got bored of waiting and I went back on land with my P team, stole this diplo body from a Rex to get the prime meat and returned, finishing the anglerfish tame. There was only one reason I wanted this guy, and you've probably guessed it, but they are by far the best silica pearl farming creatures, so I went around on the seafloor getting as much as I could. After getting quite a good haul, I left the anglerfish by the side of the water and returned home to craft the electronics. Once they were done, I made 2 ACs and I wanted to work towards getting a chemistry bench, but for that I needed cementing paste. Thankfully there was another beaver dam nearby which had some in it for me, but now I was needing polymer. So I took my Anki over to the volcano to farm obsidian, and the obsidian that I just found was turned into polymer, and that was all I now needed to craft the chemistry bench. The chem bench wasn't just for looks, so I went out to get flint and stone for it so I could mass produce spark powder, which then allowed me to mass produce gunpowder, which I turned into ammo of course. The next morning I wanted to get myself a sniper rifle, but was short on cementing paste, and relying on beaver dams wasn't always going to work. So I went out on my RG towards the swamp to look for a frog to tame. I found a good level 140, so I picked her up and took her back to base to knock out. I used my Ceratosaur to get some prime meat from the Ferrazino, and soon later the frog was tamed. But before using my frog to get cementing paste, I had to repair my scuba, as I was going to the swamp cave, and for that I needed either a gas mask or a full set of scuba. With it all sorted, I set off towards the swamp, and when I arrived I popped on the scuba and headed inside, mowing down the flies to get quite a lot of paste. And after getting just shy of 3,000 of it, I packed up and left. Having properly rebuilt myself from the Indominus Rex incident, I wanted to go back to the original plan, getting bigger and stronger dinos, and none better than this level 140 female Rex who had a kid. So I got to work taking down the big mama, and once she was gone, I claimed the baby and brought it home. I made it a saddle and then got to work imprinting on it, but there was one issue. The first imprint wanted basic kibble, of which I had none. So I just waited around for it to fully grow up, popped on its saddle and took it out for a test drive. From the mini fighting montage I got some good levels for my new Rex, but also hide, which had been in short supply so far, so I went back out to look for a better Rex after failing to get the imprint on my current one. The following day I took my Rex out to do a bit more hunting to get levels and food for the rest of the crew, but it was as I was on my way back I spotted something quite interesting.
Oh, I want to tame that.
These Rexes were tamed a little differently, and I wasn't too sure how exactly. I knew it was something to do with a roar, and then you gave it a body, but I don't think it's meant to just run away like this.
You coming back? Now what happens?
Now this is the part that I didn't know. I was supposed to stand still and wait for it to come to me for a pet, but I didn't stay still.
Don't move. Uh-oh. Oh, it's attacking me. Is it? Can you meet the body? Ow. Ow. Run away! think I've got to feed it more.
Taming process went well into the night as I fed the Rex a trike and then was able to pet it, and the first part was complete. I now had to go around killing other dinos with it to finish the tame.
Whee, we got it. 217, what's that? 44 stam, it's not great. It's not a great Rex.
I returned home with my Rex population now doubled and worked on getting polymer so I could repair my shotgun. Despite the Rex being a good level, I wanted one with better melee stats, so I headed over to Kano Island to see what was there.
Ooh, that's the one I want.
But then I spotted something even better, a Legacy Rex, which was an even higher level. I killed one of the spare Rexes and then began taming one of the good level ones that I had seen, and by the night I'd completed the first part, and now I just needed to get kills with it.
Hey, let's go. What stats we got? 49 stat. What?
Yeah, this Rex was awful too. I left the Rex behind as I went home, where I made a saddle and then swam back to collect the Rex and bring it home too. So I've returned once more to Kano Island as I now wanted to tame that Legacy level 174. I didn't really know what the Legacy version was or what was different with it, but I was hoping I could still breed it to the normal Rexes.
Hey, Rexy. Yes. Enjoy. So now I just have to wait for it to want to pet. Hey, we got it. Let's go. Hey, Legacy T-Rex. What stats? 47 melee, that's good. 56 oxygen!
With the Rex now tamed, I once again left it behind on the island, went home to make a saddle, and then went back to bring it with me. Now it was time for the moment of truth, to see if the Legacy Rex could breed with the normal one, and it could, which was great for me, as the extra melee that it had would for sure be useful later, as I attempted to take down the Indominus. So I threw down the first egg and waited for it to hatch.
Yeah, right, what stats we got? Use good melee, good melee. No.
And then I waited around for the next egg, but it wasn't any better.
That's not a good one.
But the third egg was the chosen one, as it had the far better melee stat. I spent the day raising it up and imprinting it, and by night I took it out to go get some levels. I got my Rex up to 15k health and 560 melee damage before returning home, where I now needed to head over to the snow to kill penguins to harvest their body for organic polymer. I needed the organic polymer to make myself ghillie armour, which was required for the next tame I wanted, and after putting on the entire set, I set off to go find the creature. My search led me to the Redwoods River, as the dino I wanted was the Spinosaurus, which of course spawns near water. And as I flew past my very first base on day one, I wanted you to remember this Spinosaurus that I had seen, the one that I told you to remember well, and well, we're about to meet him again, and it's definitely a special dino.
Oh, yes. 150, that is what I need. Right, let's get some saber-tooth salmon for prime meat.
I headed back to the Redwoods River to kill the saber-tooth salmon to harvest raw prime fish meat, which was what I needed to get the Spino to tame. The Spino had a unique taming method. I needed to wait for it to go into this fishing position and then throw some food at it. It should be easy, but let's see how it goes.
Oh, here he goes, here he goes. There you go. Didn't work. Let's do this. And then it just bites. I'm either too slow or I'm doing something wrong. Oh, there it is, there it is. Oh, I got it. 45, okay, that's nice. Oh, it's gone, gone. There we go, one more.
However, this one ended up taking a bit of time, as the Spino went on land and then started scrapping with a Ferrazino. After waiting around for a while and a couple more failed attempts, I finally got the Spino tamed. It actually had some decent stats despite losing quite a bit of taming effectiveness after fighting the Ferrozino, and I now just had to get it back home, to the other side of the map. So I first flew back to craft it a saddle, and then flew all the way back, but thankfully it was a pretty quick swimmer, so I just swam around in the ocean and arrived home a little while later. I already had the Rexes breeding in preparation for the Indominus Rex, but I figured it would help to have some Spinos as well. But I only had one, so I now needed to go out and find it a friend to breed with. I did find a really good level 140, but I needed a female, and this was male, and the highest level female I found was only level 95. So I went back to base to work out what my plan was going to be, and then the following morning I decided that I would tame the level 95, and just use the better stats from the male when I was breeding them. So over I went to the swamp and waited for it to start fishing. Once it was tamed, I brought it back home and then continued to hatch up more baby Rexes, hoping to get a good breeding pair with the good melee. If not, they were killed on sight. I also began breeding the Spinos as the day came to a close, hoping to get the good stats all onto one Spino. But the first was a disappointment, so I quickly got rid of it. So the entire day was then spent hatching babies and killing them, occasionally sparing a good one and letting it grow up and making sure to imprint them, of course. After a day of breeding, I finally got 2 Rexes who both had the good health and melee stat, so I set them to breed so that I'd have a 100% chance of the babies with the good stats. I spent the night waiting and collecting eggs and storing them up so I could hatch them all at once, and then the next morning it was time to begin building my Rex army, after hatching a bunch of them. The day was spent babysitting them, making sure they were fed and imprinted, and then I made saddles for them. Once they were grown, I lined them all up and let them heal, but I realised I should probably go get something to help quicken the process of that, so I went into the snow to grab myself a Daeodon. I found one and tried to build a small trap for it, but the trap was too small, and it wouldn't even fit in, so I had to extend it and I knocked out the piggy inside. But it was as I was going to get prime meat to tame it that I spotted this level 145. So I went back to the first one and killed it, brought the new guy into the trap and knocked him out. My Daeodon tamed up the following morning after going through quite a lot of prime meat. To best utilise the Daeodon, it prefers cooked meat, so I need to make myself a grill, but for that I was short on crystal, so a quick trip over to mountain with my Anki was needed. But now it turned out all I needed was oil, so I had to make another quick trip over to the snow to farm that. So finally I was able to make the grill and begin cooking up all the raw meat I had. And once I'd gotten a couple stacks, I popped them into the pig and enabled passive healing to help the Rexes get to full health, and then went back to hatching more Rexes, as I think I'm probably going to need quite a few to take down this Indominus Rex. And as night fell, I was busy imprinting and making sure the Rexes had healed, but with it being a new day and the new Rexes now healing, I took the old ones out to do a bit of levelling in preparation for the big fight. Having levelled one Rex, I took the second out. Once I returned, I continued healing the rest of them. I figured it would be easier to level the rest of the Rexes by killing some spare babies, and that was all I'd done for the next couple of days. And in case I ran out of eggs, I'd done some more levelling the old fashioned way by killing wild dinos again. However, this was something that would turn into a bit of a mistake, as you're about to find out in 3 seconds.
What? Oh no, that's the Indominus. Oh, this isn't going to go well. Holy, this thing has shredded me. Oh no. Ah.
When I returned to collect my things, the Indom had already left the area, which wasn't good.
And it's not here anymore. It's gone.
But that wasn't the end of it.
Oh, you're telling me I've come all this way, my stuff's gone.
So back at base, I had to begin rebuilding all my gear. And once that was done, I leveled up one of the few remaining Rexes who needed levels, this time trying to stay far away as possible from that rampaging Indominus, before I then took out the next Rex too. With that done, it was time to start farming, as I took the Yankee to get stone and flint to craft spark powder for gunpowder to remake my shotgun ammo, after losing it all to the Indominus. I then figured it would probably be worth it breeding the Spinos too, as my Rex just did get obliterated by the Indominus, so I began hatching up the eggs, only getting one which was worth raising, so I imprinted it. By the time it was grown the next morning, I had to do a quick fibre farming trip and then make it a saddle. Then I worked on getting a second Spino with the good stats, which happened to be in the very next egg. As it grew, I took the first Spino out to go get raw fish meat, or else my Spino population was about to starve. Once back, I continued to imprint the Spino before taking the other one back out to kill Megalodons for levels and for more raw fish meat. And with that trip over, the other Spino had now grown too. I leveled it up by killing baby Spinos and finished it off with an alpha Megalodon kill.
Ooh. It's a nice loot that actually.
For the rest of the morning, I worked on making gunpowder, turning it into more shotgun ammo, and then the next morning I took the remaining Spino out to level him up and brought it back to home to heal with the Daedon. They finished healing the following morning before I set out to go find the whereabouts of the Indominus to go take it down and save the island. And it didn't take me long to find it.
Oh, there it is. The Indom. That's really close to base. Right, let's get my guys. Let's go. Let's get him.
So I quickly flew back to base to get my Rexes and Spinos, and I led them towards the Indominus to take it down.
Right, let's go. Right, it should be just up here. I see it. Right. Let's do this, gang. Get it. Oh, we'll go in. Oof. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh no, we've lost more. Now it's down to just a 1v1. No. It's hurt. And it's done. Oh man.
I now had the long and lonely run back to base, with my army defeated, but there was one surprise, a coward who didn't even bring himself to the fight. At least it was one Rex already prepared for when I returned to the fight. I figured not only would I now need to rebuild my army of Rexes and Spinos, I'd have to fight fire with fire. To do that, I needed to craft this engineering station, which I placed down and then crafted some electronics and polymer before doing a metal run on the nearby mountain. I followed the metal run up with an obsidian run at the volcano, which was all turned into polymer. But to get even more, I was needing cementing paste, so a quick trip to the swamp cave with my frog was needed.
Oh, that's a lot of spiders. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. Oh my god, look at how many. Okay, I think that's enough cementing paste now.
This allowed me to craft a DNA extractor, synthesizer and sequencer, but to power them I needed these things called power cells. To get the DNA, I need to go out and kill creatures for their body parts, so I got Therazinos, Alpha Rat and Rexes for their arms. All of this was thrown into the DNA extractor to get the DNA. The DNA was needed to make all of these different vials, but I was needing quite a few pieces of DNA to do so off I went to go get them, and that was all I'd done for the next couple days. Once back at base, I began to breed my Rexes again, as I obviously now needed a new army to take down the Indominus. So I waited around and collected the Rex eggs as they fell, and the following days were spent hatching them all and then of course imprinting them. They also needed to be fed, so a few meat runs were needed, but in this one I ran a bit too close into an Alpha T-Rex who was no match for my T-Rex. Hopefully a good sign for when I returned to the battle with the Indominus. With the first batch of Rexes nearly grown, I had to make some saddles. I then lined them all up together so that they could be out the way and heal as I went out to go get raw meats to throw in the grill to feed the dead on so that it could heal all of the Rexes. But as I waited for that, I began the process of killing baby Rexes for levels. With the Rexes mostly done and busy healing, I turned my focus back to the secret project involving their DNA, as it continued to extract some more from a Rex and a Therizino. One of the DNAs I needed was a Giga, so I went up to the volcano to see one already burning in lava, which I used to my advantage. I spent some time sat above it, shooting at it with my shotgun as it ran through the lava, and after a little while it succumbed to its injuries and died, and I was able to collect a Giga heart. I then extracted some more pieces of DNA and crafted a vial of each dino, which allowed me to produce the DNA vial for my very own Indominus Rex, which began crafting in the synthesizer. And after combining it with the fertilized Rex egg, I got my very own Indominus Rex egg. To hatch it, I needed this special incubator, but before I hatched it, I wanted to make sure that all my Rexes were sorted, as I went out to do some last leveling on some of them and made sure that they were all healed up. But now it was time to hatch the Indominus egg. I played around with a few of the settings on the incubator, and this was the final result, awaiting to be born. With it hatched, I quickly went out to do a meat run to make sure that my new little friend didn't starve, and then waited for my new baby to grow up. Once it was an adult, I took it out to get some levels to make sure that this would be the defining factor in me defeating the wild Indominus Rex. With that done, I went out to go check the whereabouts of the Indom, and it was still happily chilling in the same area, which meant it was go time. So I scrambled back to base, made one last batch of shotgun ammo, and then got all my Rexes and led them towards the Indominus Rex. There was one thing I was forgetting, the main character, my Indominus, so I quickly went back to go get it too, and then I led my army towards the final battle.
Right then, Indominus, there's no room for the two of us, so it's time to say goodbye. Ooh, that bleed attack does so much damage. Oh no, wait. Oh, we're losing Rexes already. Oh my god. Oh, so many are dying. Right, let's not do a repeat of the first fight, please. And it's just the two of us. But only one of us will survive, so let's make sure it's us. Oh, we've done it! It's defeated! We've won! Let's go! The island has been saved from that disaster.
I hope you enjoyed this different ARK 100 days. Make sure if you did to leave a like, comment and subscribe, as it helps me out loads, and I'll catch you in the next one.